allegedly, I heard from a good source, but it's allegedly, so I don't want no one trying to sue me. But allegedly, Oscar Rivas has failed a test. This is the talk that I'm hearing. So if it has, and that comes out, then I'm saying, right, I'm saying don't point the finger. Too many people point the finger at Dillian White. I'm saying, listen, you saw how elated I was. Dillian White come from the ends. Do you know what I mean? Even worse, he actually came from Jamaica.
Hello, all you hardcores out there, how are we doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the voice of hardcore boxing. Raining outside. I have to go brolly, don't want to get me hair wet. Let's plough on. Should the boxing fraternity set up a governing body to rival the British Boxing Board of Control? I'd be up for it, but who's going to do it? Who's going to fund it? And how we're going to get these corrupt, leeching, poncing, pimps, freeloading, old age pensioners out of that office at Cardiff? How are we going to do it? They're all in the 70s. None of them have got a job. None of them. All they do is ponce. Free gratis. That's what I call it. Free gratis. It's been going on too long. Would the boxing fraternity set it up? Will the government set it up? Are the government going to get involved? Are laminate holders going to come out and speak out? No good telling me. No good telling me. I can't be at brunt of it. I can say my bit. I'm not frightened of that. Nobody will ever tell me what I can and I can't say. Nobody. I'm not bothered how big you are, how much money you've got. What happened? Not my shift. But how many, right, times are we going to be shit on by boxing board of no control? And I mean no control. None. How many times? Is that going to be the way forward? Is that the best way forward? Hey, is that the best way forward? In my opinion, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Something's got to change, hasn't it? Something's got to change. Take Tyson Fury out of the equation and he could reign for another 10 years if he wanted to. He wouldn't even need to train to beat this shower, would he? Take Tyson out of the equation, Joshua. You know, you're two big stars in this country. What we're left with? Conor Benn. Conor Benn. Hey, Conor Benn, is that all we're left with? Conor Benn and Archie Sharp, Dennis McCann, who Frank Warren couldn't even get on a Wembley show, his own fighters. And Anthony Yard, who's been beat twice already. Who are we left with? Who are we left with? Hey. You know what I mean? These are just some things that I jotted down while they're outside the swimming pool. Is Dillian White chinny? I think he's chinny. Will White go down as a manufactured fighter like Big Meech, Bellew, Shannon Courtney, Bridges? I think Tony Bellew is technically better than all them. But Tony Bellew would navigate through choppy waters. Never beat a champion for a belt. Tony, can you put your head down on that pillow at night knowing that you never beat a champ? I don't think you can. Never beat a champ for a belt. How can you call yourself a former world champion if you never beat a champion? It's not only for WBC, Tony, it's British, Commonwealth, European, and WBC World. All vacants. Eh? Oh, Tony. Oh, bless him. Tony, you got greedy. Tony, don't get greedy. You're not right, Penfold. I'll deal with you another day. Will White regret not taking Walling fight? No, not really, because I think Walling would have flogged him. I think Dillian White's on slide now. I think he's on downslide of his career. Did Fury and Bricktop outsmart Dillian White and Eddie Hills, the 5-0 Iceman from Billericay? Free by way up, but no footage. I think they did. I think they did. I think Frank Warren, if you snap him in half his boxing, and he knows all little tricks of the trade, doesn't he? Old brick top. So yeah, I think they did outsmart Dillian White. Dillian White and his team strutting about with an entourage bigger than Rod Stewart. Imagine that. Dillian White. He's got a British vacant belt to his name off Ian Lawinson. He's strutting around like he's Mayweather. With all these advisors and teams of training people and all that. Yeah, Dillian, go out and fight. Gustav for round 1 against Fury, it'll confuse him, yeah. I think they've been watching too much of Rocky 2, haven't they? You know, Rocky comes out of Southpaw against Apollo. Dillian, you've been watching too much Rocky 2, mate. Am I harsh on Dillian White and the old Wembley show? Am I harsh on it? No. No, I'm not. No, they're charging 25 sobs. That's a pony where I live. A pony to watch that. Come on. Will pay-per-view in UK go above 25 quid? Not on your Nelly, Sam. Not on your Nelly. It'll be going down now because we're on downside now. Nobody's going to pay that again, are they, for that? You see, did you see it? You see that show? All that big hype and everything, all that big entrance and all that. And look what we got. Look what it were. They couldn't help themselves, could they? They couldn't help themselves. Brick Top, you couldn't help yourself, could you? Hey, you couldn't help yourself, you dog. Have we peaked now with Fury White, or was it a total cash grab? Yeah, I think we peaked with it. We're not going to top that now, are we? Then people who left that arena are not going to want to go back because they're going to say, well, I didn't get no bang from my book. You know what I mean? Have you seen some of Eddie Hearn's pay-per-views compared to that? It blinds Brick Tops, doesn't he? You know my feelings on that spoiled rat, don't you? Mr. Relentless. What's relentless about having the reins handed to you from your daddy? That's not relentless, is it? His dad's relentless. Brick Top, they're relentless because they come from no, don't they? Not you, Edward. Is Usyk versus Big Meech? Is it in Saudi? And with Saudi's human rights? Is that right? You know, they're throwing gay people off buildings and that. It's up to them if they want to do that. And all other things they do, like for stealing and that, chop your arms off and that. I'm all for that. I just come from Turkey where they have fridge freezers on paths where you walk down the street and they've got magnums in, Oreo, ice lollies, Jubilee, whatever things that you have, ice cube things, them triangle things you used to get from a shop around here, 7 pence when you were a kid. Got all them and ice cream Mars's in and that. And nobody steals anything. Could you imagine that in Bowlby or Shirecliff or Manor Top? They won't just put their hands in the freezer. They come with a trolley and take the freezer. So I'm all for that. The police ruling by fear. Too right I am. They're going to be stealing and vagabonds and all that. Yes, please. Yes, please. But Usyk and Big Meech, is it going to happen now? October the 7th, Anthony Joshua activated. He activated the rematch clause October 7th. So what we're on now? May 11th. November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 7 months and 3 days. And we haven't got a date. All we're hearing is a lot of lip service. They waited it out to see what happened with Fury, didn't they, and White, hoping Dillian White won. Dillian White hadn't won, so now ball's in their court. They've got to fight Usyk. And let me tell you this, Joshua's filling his nappy. He's filling his nappy. I can hear it from here. They don't care about the fans, these people. Yeah, well, Joshua's going to fight in Saudi. Do you remember when Joshua beat Povetkin and he got it ring at end and he said, it's for fans. I want to fight here. I love you people and all that. What happened? But Andy Ruiz in New York rematched him. Andy Ruiz in Saudi. Hey, came back to fight Pula, 40-year-old in UK, but He's then fought Usyk in UK, and now he's wanting to go abroad again and that. They don't care for boxing fans. They care for pound notes. Do you think Anthony Joshua gives a hoot about all these grannies and these young birds that like him? I think he cares about them. Do you think he cares? Does he care about you? Charging you 25 quid. He don't care for any of yous. Get it into your heads. He don't care for none of yous. He doesn't care for any of yous. I'm a third way through all this now. I heard there was pure Colombian pure plus MDMA powder at Wembley. It was world's biggest ever rave. So yes, if I was in UK now, I'd probably be under some table, paranoid to death, as that's my game, making a pig of myself on the old beak. Oh, I must have been drinking some pina coladas that day. Yeah, I was sat at the side of the pool and I was there with my writing pad and people were phoning me and telling, oh, you won't believe what we're going on there at Wembley Park. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, there were loads of chong, there were loads of this, there were loads of that, there were people getting it this, and there were people getting it that. You know, like I do for lines on a Sunday morning, usually about 4 a.m. I'm like, what was that? What was that? I've usually got X-ray hearing. I've stopped all that on now, but no, if they were all partying, good luck to them. I wish I was there because I would have been in the thick of it off my box, but I wasn't. But good luck to them all. I just wish I'd have been there. Where does it leave the Fury's legacy? Well, he's beat everybody that he's fought, hasn't he? That's his legacy, so you can't put a dent in Tyson's legacy. Does Fury need Usyk and Big Meech names on his CV to be a top 15 guy of all time? Yeah, I think he does. I think Tyson's probably about 3 or 4 names short of being that all-time great, isn't he? You can't just have Wilder, Old Man Vladimir on your record, can you? You can't just have them two and Steve Cunningham, a blown-up cruiserweight who'd seen better days, fine heavyweight. You can't just have them on your CV. You know, Dillian White don't count on his CV. He's not done that. Got to have the star names on his record. Tyson's not got it because the era's piss poor. I personally don't think Joshua wants to fight him. I think Usyk could fight him, but whether Tyson would or what, I don't know. It'd be a good fight, that, wouldn't it? That'd be a one for the purists, wouldn't it? Could you imagine Terry watching that? He'd work himself up into a frenzy, wouldn't he? Terry coming out with his what's his body of work and all that kind of carry on. And but yeah, would I put Fury above Lennox, Lewis? Not at the moment. I think Lennox just shades him. We've got 14 wins over world champions, former, current, and future. What's Fury got? 4? 4's not good enough, is it? 4 against 14. Ali's got 16, and a lot of them Ali beat would have been world champions today. They're only 1 belt, then, or 2, weren't they? Mainly it was always 1, wasn't it? And don't forget, Muhammad Ali beat Floyd Patterson twice, 1960 Olympic medalist. Ali won it in 1956, Patterson. Ali won it in 60. He beat Patterson twice. He beat Joe Frazier. He won it in 64. He beat Frazier twice. Beat Foreman. He won it in 68. He didn't. I don't think he beat the 72 medalist, 1972 medalist, but he beat the 1976 gold medalist, didn't he? Leon Spinks. They went 1-1, didn't they? So Ali took on all comers, didn't he? He's the greatest. He is the greatest. How many gold medal winners has Tyson Fury beat? Zilch. Because the era, isn't it? Anthony Joshua is the guy he needs to be fighting, but I don't think Joshua wants it. I think Joshua gets blooded anyway inside 6 rounds against Fury. I think it'd be a slaughter, wouldn't it? Be a slaughter. Wilder's CV is not that clever either, is it? And they're supposed to be the dominant guys of the era. Look at Vladimir, 20 wins over world champions. He's pretty dominant, wasn't he? For terrible style. Everything stacked in his favour. Why couldn't White close down the distance with Fury? Schoolboy errors. That's because he's got an inexperienced training team, and in my opinion, they didn't know what they were doing. They don't know what Dillian White's best attributes are. Dillian White's best attributes is not fighting southpaw against a masterful boxer. That's not being a good trainer, is it? Oh, they're trying to think too much. So they're just going out there and being Dillian White. They're trying to be too technical with a technical guy. We all know what happened with Carl Froch, don't we, for the first 7 rounds against Andre Ward. Trying to be technical against Andre Ward, a technical fighter. In the end, he just said, you know what, to hell with this. He just went after him, didn't he? Chased him. And sometimes you just got to make the best of your attribute. Tyson Fury is not going to fight short, is he? Because he's a tall guy. You don't see him fighting short. They're trying to be different. You fight to the best of your abilities. And I think Dillian White's team get gone. Don't know what they're doing, his training team. Is Bricktop back as #1 now? Or if Fury has retired, is it Skid Row for Bricktop, Porky? Bricktop's not #1. He hasn't been #1 for ages. He's barely scraping #2. He's had his moment in the sun in the last couple of months, but you saw how he grasped it. It was just pure greed, wasn't it? Look how they did it. It left grubbiness on our hands. Look at the grubbiness of it. Look at the undercard. I mean, what the hell was that? So no, I don't think he's #1. I think Eddie Hearn's still the #1. Or Eddie Hills, he's the #1 guy. Bricktop squeaks in at #2, doesn't he? 9 MTK out at Water. But no. It's about money for Bricktop, isn't it? And about having people over in court and looking for angles here, there, and everywhere to get a few quid, isn't it? That's what it's all about with Bricktop. A Bricktop contract's thicker than that. A Bricktop contract is thicker than that. I've seen them, let me tell you. It costs a lawyer would charge you £1,000 just to go through it. That's how they weigh you down. Is pay-per-view over for? Is pay-per-view over? I think pay-per-view. It might be over for a bit now. Actually, after that performance, who's going to want to go to Wembley again, thinking, well, what they're going to put on? You'd never buy a ticket for Wembley again, would you? Without seeing undercard, would you? After that, would you? Come on. I mean, will White be sued by Bricktop? I'm sure there'll be legal letters flying around. Bricktop loves a bit of litigation. What's happening with Dylan's arbitration case? Well, you know my good friend Rico Healy from Finland, who started this channel with me, November 2017. Rico's had a look, and there's arbitration cases, but Dylan's there's nothing there. So Dylan was just paying lip service to fans, wasn't he? Dylan's a bluffer, isn't he? He's blagged his way where he is by spending as little as possible. I mean, he don't even pay his sparring partners, does he, Dylan? Let's have it right. He still owes that Beat O'Reilly money, don't he, from sparring at Loughborough a few years ago. Get Beat O'Reilly paid his 600 quid, Dylan. Hey? Start being a gentleman, Dylan. Hey? That's what you need to be. Start being a gentleman. Is Eddie Hills gassing up Conor Benn too much? I saw Conor Benn on a video walking through Paris on his Instagram saying he's a superstar and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Not one person stopped for an autograph off him. Conor Benn. He's not won a British yet or a European, but yet he's a superhuman superstar. No. Fight Michael McKinson. Let's see how good you are then. Dillian White, Conor Benn, are they gimmicks? So in other words, have they both been gassed up that much that nobody knows where they are with them? Is Derek Chisora the same as well? I mean, how many losses has he got? 12, 13 losses. Why is he even in mix for pay-per-view fights and big fights? I don't get it. He's got more losses than Josh Whale, Derek Chisora. So Derek will come back with a new script, and so will Dylan. But Conor Benn, does he win a welterweight title? No. Conor Benn saying he's chasing Keith Thurman. Yeah, you'll only fight him one time, Conor. You might not fight again. Touch wood you do, but you might only fight one more time. One time, Keith Thurman. You put it to kit. I don't know. I mean, what's going to happen to Dillian White? It could be worse, couldn't it, for Dillian? I mean, look, boxing's full of surprises, isn't it? Really, let's have it right. Boxing's full of surprises. Dillian White. I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but Dillian White this time next year could be fighting on a Dennis ticket deal in a car park in Sheffield. Well, look at Dave Allen. He was 2 fights on Joshua, wasn't he? Now I can't even get a fight. Tough at the top, isn't it? Tough at the top. Everybody knows best, don't they? Boxers know best. They know what they're doing, don't they? Dave Allen knows what he's doing. He's a manager now, Dave Allen. Registered manager. Look how he managed his own career. If my son wanted to be a boxer, would I let Dave Allen manage him? What do you think? Could end up fighting Dave Allen, couldn't he, Dillian? You don't know, do you? You don't know. Eddie Hearn doing face-offs with Jake Paul. This is funny, isn't it? You know Eddie? He slagged Jake Paul to death, didn't he? For months and months and months. You know why? Fear. Utter fear. And now look, he needs him more than ever now, doesn't he? Eddie needs Jake Paul more than ever. The rimming going on around Jake Paul's ringhole from Eddie. Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Are these boxing promoters all of a sudden now just about rimming anybody that does views? Have these views on social media, have they distorted boxing promoters' minds? Have they? Have they distorted the minds? What do you think? Have they? We're going to see, aren't we? We're going to see. Personally, I think they have been. I think the minds have been distorted and chasing views all the time instead of quality over quantity. And then you've got this Jake Paul thing, and you know, should Porky's Corner start doing live shows? Well, if somebody shows me how to set it all up, we'll start doing them. We'll pick a little gang, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 of us, me and 3 others, we'll start doing live ones. Or whatever. I don't know how it all works. You know, I'm backward, aren't I? But we'll see. Now, I want to talk about people who jump the levels. I always go on about this jumping the levels, and I always arc back down to the good old days of Clinton Woods, Carl Froch, and all them people who went through the, you know, and all the Gallagher fighters. They went through the levels, didn't they? And that, but some people were having a dig at me over there about it. Let me say this to you. Look at the people Carl Froch fought when he was British champion. Damon Haig fought him, didn't he? He'd been a WBF middleweight champion. Matthew Barney was a WBU champion. You know, Brian McGee had, I think he had some sort of success before Carl Froch fought him. I know he won an IBO and a WBA at some point. But these people were all like proper. Carl was a proper matched, wasn't he? You know, learning his craft. Conor Benn don't learn his craft. Too many of them want to jump the levels and they get found out, don't they? Dillian White jumped the levels. Then look what happened when he got in there with Fury. Whoa, you saw, didn't you? Never won a second of any round. Ended up looking a sausage, total fool. Learn your craft. Is Dillian White versus Tony Yoka a good fight? Don't mention him, does he? Olympic gold medalist 2016. Why not mention him? Tyson Fury is saying he's retired, but if film offers come, he'll take them in a heartbeat. I'm sure he will. 20 million a film, eh? So it is what it is, isn't it? Or it is what it isn't. What was the drug testing at the Wembley show? Does anybody know? I mean, I'm hearing that nobody got drug tested, so I don't know if it's true. I'm not going to say there was no drug testing because I'm not sure. But If that's true, they didn't get drug tested. I think that's bad, isn't it? I think that's really, really bad. What next at Isaac Lowe? Well, he could always ballot Tyson's car sprint, couldn't he? He lives right corner. So, whatever happened to Joe Fournier? Will we hear from him again? What happens to Davy Day? We don't hear out from him now. Davy Day will pipe up when he runs out of money, when he's run out of dough. But will Isaac Lowe retire now? Tyson's retired. Going to be interested to see what happens. In the last 30 years, who has the most impressive CV as regard wins over former, current and future world champions? Lennox Lewis 14, Mike Tyson 9, Riddick Bowe 7. He retired at 29, Riddick Bowe. Larry Holmes 8, Frank Bruno 1, Holyfield 19, Vladimir 20, Vitally 7, Herbie Hyde 2, Anthony Joshua 5, Tyson Fury 4. Andrew Ruiz 1. Charlie Martin none, but he's a former world champion. Wilder 2, David A 6, Joseph Parker 1. So you've seen it there, haven't you? Aye. Era's poor. Nobody's going on a big run and stopping people and winning and winning and winning. Stop, start, innit? And Vladimir can amass 20 wins over world champions and Holyfield 19, but yeah, Mike Tyson 9, Lennox 14, Riddick Bowe 7, and Fury, who's saying he's a GOAT, 4. You couldn't put a candle to these people. But it's not Tyson Fury's fault, is it? He'd have had a fantastic CV in any era, wouldn't it? He just happens to be in a poor era, doesn't he? You know what I mean? I'm surprised Bricktop, though, didn't show us his full stable at Wembley. Parade it. This is what I've got for the future. It was perfect. The tone was set, wasn't it? The stage was set for Bricktop to say, I am back. I am back. And you will go down in the fourth. I'll cut your Jacobs off. Hey, they were all there for Frank, but what happened? They were more bothered about ripping people on waste bucket with slops but beer, weren't they? And skimming here, there, and everywhere. No class. No class. Yeah, that's about it really on this one. I'll finish up on these few here. Oh, Dennis's show. Dennis's show coming up. 11 fights, no belts on it. 7 undefeated records, 5 losing records. Home fighters 85-4, away fighters 93, 174 and 15. And John Fuchs fighting for WBF international belt. John Fuchs, who were out 7 years, and Glyn Rose said, you've not got it no more. So he's out 7 years, comes back, has a fight, blowing out in his arse in a 4-rounder against a nobody, but won. He's out a year, and now he's back in a WBF international fight on a Dennis show. That reminds me when Dennis said, we've got Josh Whale, a WBF world title fight, full belt, on a boat, on a yacht in Gibraltar. They were pissing the pants, Mick and Josh. And I was, it was embarrassing. So Dennis's WBF stories, nobody believes no more, Dennis. So let's see if it happens. Let's see if it happens, Dennis. If not, it's just lip service, isn't it? But if that's all you've got to show, Dennis, for 4 years of Steve Crump's investment, you're going back to John Fuchs. Fucking hell. You should be knocking at my door begging me to come back, Dennis, but that boat's sailed. Dennis, you've dug yourself in a big hole. It's your own fault through greed. Greed. If that's all you can produce after 4 years, going back to John Fuchs, eh? Who's been out a year, and before that 7 years. What next? Ross Birkinshaw, you're going to dig him up? Oh, yeah, we'll dig Fuchs up. Eh? What's that? Is that all you've got to show? What about getting Cash Ali a fight next door, getting in with Dave Allen, get a trilogy going, get all area rocking and talking about boxing before you sink. Take everybody's readies with you. You should be embarrassed, Dennis. John Fuchs. Fucking Jesus. Excuse my English. Edit that out, camera. No, don't leave it in. We're authentic. Yeah, I remember that story Dennis once told me about Bricktop. You know about where there's the cake and what who's having what piece. Yeah, we know what's going on up there, don't we? John Fuchs. Okay, let me just get that away from me. Jesus. Are Frank and Eddie suffocating UK boxing? Too right, they've been doing it for ages. Taylor Serrano, what did I think? I thought it was the best female fight I've ever seen in my life. Well done to both of them. I hope they do it again. But Katie Taylor's going to be talking like Scooby-Doo, isn't she, or Dave Allen? Ian moaning about Sky not bigging DAZN up. Good. I'm happy about that. Very happy. Beefy Smith versus Vargas. Does it happen? I don't know. Beefy Smith versus Eubank. Would I want to see that? That's a good fight on Sky, that. Campbell, Hands of Stone Hatton. Do I want to see him fight? No, I think he's garbage. He's a gimmick. What's best sparring I've ever seen? I saw Tyson Fury spar Joe Joyce. Tyson with 28, 29 stone. Took centre at ring and never moved. He couldn't move. And Joe Joyce couldn't hit him. And this was when Joe Joyce was a silver medalist down at Olympics. So that's how good Tyson is. They couldn't lay a glove on him when he was fat as a pig Michelin man. So what chance have they got with him 10 stone lighter? So people keep asking me about Big Max, my good friend, Max Jenkins. What happened to him? Well, Max told me that he would want to know. He went out there, had his fight, got beat. He was then 1-1 on box rate. Then rung me and says, "Oh, they're changing it to 1-1 because it's an exhibition or something." So I says, "Oh," and then I heard that he went out there and they slipped opponent, they changed opponent in the last hour or something, stitched him up, and he weren't in a position to say anything because there were 29 fights on the show. So Max says, "Well, I'm not fighting then." They said, "Well, do one then. We've got 28 other fights here." So he fought, he got paid and that, he got beat on points. So he's 1-1. If he gets it changed to an exhibition, he's 1-0, isn't it? Good luck to him if he don't. Why are people emailing me constantly wanting him to knock him? Go knock him to his face, because if he hits you, he'll put you to kit. All in yours. Yeah, he's not quickest heavyweight in box in squaring, is he? He's not fleet-footed, is he? And he's not fast, but he's a powerful 6'4" lump at 20 clem. I think he might even be about 22 clem now. Either way, he's got 20 days to get down to 16 stone. Or I need 100 quid. Or I need 100 quid out you, Max. Will I take it? I'm going to sleep on it, Max. Will Dillian White sign for Bricktop? Nope, not on your Nelly. What was the first time I ever got shocked in boxing? Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas. That shocked me, because we thought Mike Tyson was invincible, didn't we? Did White take the money and not train for the Fury fight? No, I think he would have trained. He's not that stupid, is he? But I don't know. He looked beat before he got in there, didn't he? Dillian White so far has had a 2-year dope ban, then a missing B sample, yet still ended up with 8 pay-per-view fights. He is smarter than your average bear. He's smarter, very, very smart. That's Dennis is saying that. I'm smarter than the average bear. Yeah, you are smart, Dennis. Going back to John Fuchs. After all that time and effort, all them shows. What, you've born 18, 19 shows in a year. 13 months or something. You're going back to John Fuchs. Oh. Fucking hell against John Fuchs, but come on. He looks dug up. He looks older than me. John Fuchs, you need to fight Nicky Smedley. So we need to fight. Anthony Joshua to Sky, is it going to happen? Yeah, I think it will happen. Is Joshua swerving Usyk? You bet he is. Eddie Hearn hanging on for dear life? You bet he is. Joshua versus Yui on Sky. Would I invest in that? Yeah, Yui schools him. I hope. Barker Bellew, B. Nelson and Co. What will their bias be now? Well, I don't know. Barker's DAZN, Bellew's DAZN, Bean and Nelson are Sky. So I think Barker and Bellew will stay silent, because what can they say about that? They can't come out with any excuses that Tyson pushed him over and that got beat up. What do I really think of female boxing? I think it's a load of crap. I think there's probably about 6 fighters in female world who excite me. Shields, Marshall, Katie Taylor, Serrano. There's 4, and there's probably a couple of others somewhere else whose names I can't think of. In 4 you had a zone. Who is Eddie Hills? Who has Eddie Hills built? Who's his big 5 stars that he's built? He hasn't built no elite fighters, has he? He's all Eddie has in his locker is to come for money for his fight. He's been found out. Do you agree? He's all Eddie has in his locker is to come for money. I don't know if I can put there. I must have been proper drunk. I think that means all Eddie's bothered about is money, which is it's a money business. And as White had a lot of luck, considering his CV is garbage pokey. Yeah. The boxing media in boxing, are they asking correct questions regarding MTV? You covered that. As YouTubers with access, cover themselves in glory. No, they haven't. Is this the way forward, this lot in media? No, it isn't the way forward, is it? They're all looking out for themselves, but you know, your stalwarts, Colin Hart, Steve Bunce, Ron Lewis, you know, people like that. They've all shit the pants with this MTK thing, aren't they? Okie dokie. Right, that's about it. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Peace out.